Guy, you need help. A video by the Brother Man Asylum podcast. All right, let's see what they have to say this week.
Episode. We're not going to stop at the first now. We have to keep this going. Welcome to the Brother Man Asylum podcast. Whoa, 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 whoa. Too many things in my mind. Okay, so today we have a very serious topic. But like I said, we're going to introduce ourselves to you every episode so you know who we are, so you can help us to blow. So I'm Davey Kenny. Yo. Everybody introduce yourself.
I'm Bugwade.
Yeah.
I am too.
My name is Ronti.
All right, so we're back. Today's topic, you already saw it in the caption. You saw it in the title. Guy, exclamation mark. You need help. More exclamation marks. So today we'll be going a little bit hard on the men. You know, we have to hold ourselves accountable. And one of the ways we do that is to recognize when we need help and to recognize how certain behaviors have been perpetuated over time. Some of us are even repeating the mistakes that our fathers made. Mm-hmm. You know, people like there's a way you hear things like, this is how the men in your family behave. You know, this is how your father was, and we're still doing those things. Some of us were influenced by the society, by the world. Last episode we talked about how exactly
there are so many influences.
Yeah.
In fact, there are so many influences today that you need to ask for help so you can even know what should actually influence you.
Yeah. Many things they do you. So you guys know, you have to know the medicine to take depending on the kind of sickness that is doing you. So I think the first place to obviously start is what we think and the areas we think men really need help the most in our generation. Let's try and think as far and wide as we can.
I didn't money. Okay, I'm just being silly
About this, because this one is very, very important.
Communication, I think. What men sometimes we struggle with. Growing up, we struggle with just how to talk to people, talk to ourselves, talk to women, talk to our parents. Yeah, I think that to me is one big issue that we have. I mean, right now, my eldest son is 16. And he just started a new school. And I asked him on his first day, how was school? Do you have any thoughts? Do you have any feelings? He said, nah, nothing. I said, you can't be nothing now. You're not a robot. You must have a feeling. Yeah. I said, and I explained, I said, my first day in school, my first school, there was a feeling of being lost. I didn't quite know who to talk to. There was anxiety and all that, but he was like, nothing. Well, after I explained a bit, he said he was confused. Just that one word, confused. He's coming up. But I think how to just talk is one thing that where we really need.
I mean, we hit on this in the last episode about how men don't really talk about their emotions, how they're truly feeling, but there's a way to learn how to. And I think we communicate the way our communication skills are primarily formed in our families. How we communicate at home is eventually how we communicate outside.
Yeah.
The freedom we're given at home either restricts or opens us up to be able to communicate in an effective way.
You reflect what you see.
Yeah.
You reflect what you see. And it's either from your parents or from your siblings or from people around you.
Yeah.
But as far as help goes for men, men just need help in everything at different points in time. So about a year ago, when I first moved to Lagos, at that point in time, I needed guidance on coming into the new city of Lagos because it was still new for me. I'd been to Lagos before, but I just moved here. Yeah. So I needed someone that had expertise in all affairs Lagos.
I'm laughing because you talk about Lagos like it's a job.
Bro, it's a different place. And my brother man here, was my minister of tourism.
You know what I'm saying? Vote me, democracy.
I was coming from Abuja at that time. So my brother man
to Abuja, Lagos is a jungle.
It's very different. It's really like it's like a different country.
Animal kingdom.
It's like a different country. So I said that to say that men need help in different parts of their lives at different points in time.
Mhm.
This helping me in Lagos might sound like a small thing.
Yeah, but it translates.
Am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Helping me in Lagos might seem like a small thing,
Yeah.
but when you think of the repercussions it could have had if I didn't have
guidance.
that guide,
Yeah.
different things could have happened. By now I might
Yeah.
not even be here. You understand? So
Big fact.
yeah, so help comes in different ways at different points in time, and is needed. One of my friends always like to say that closed mouths don't get fed.
Mm-hmm.
So as a
Yeah.
man, we need
Big
to-
facts.
you understand?
Big facts.
So we need to
Big facts.
Get
But
into
what do you think?
I think is we're not yet used to asking for help, and that's the main thing. We're not used to asking for help, and like you said, say what you said now. It looks as if it's a mundane thing, but in men's lives, there are many things that look mundane, but it's good to ask for help. And it will shock you when you bring up topics and people are like, "Chairman, how did you do that? How did you come up with that? How do you escape this thing?" For example, now as men now in our generation, we are inundated with pictures of ladies scantily dressed. It hits you every day. Pa, pa, pa. And whoa. And I know what he's talking about. How do you handle this thing? Because men are moved by what they see.
Yeah.
And nobody talks about it. So if nobody talks about it, men just keep hiding things in their corner. And so it's important to ask for help because they are men.
Yeah.
They are men that have handled these things.
Yeah. Big facts. Big facts. I agree with everything that has been said, though, honestly. Closed mouths don't get fed. Yay. Somebody should tweet that.
Closed mouths are closed
Somebody should
destinies.
put that on somebody should put that on his shirt. I like to bring this from. This is very personal to me.
Mhm.
Very, very personal to me. And I'm going to use my own story to encourage everyone and talk about this today. I was raised by a single mother, but she wasn't a single mother by choice. She became a single mother by circumstance. And I just want to take a little bit of a detour here to talk about something from my own perspective as well. If you're a young guy, or if you're a guy, generally, you know, you were raised in a very women-centered home. Like, you only grew up with your mom, you never knew your dad. See, bro, if you grew up in that kind of environment, go and look for help. Don't wait till the problems start showing themselves.
I'm telling you.
You will see the problems.
I'm telling you, how I got my first mentor was there was someone, I did something, I can't remember what I did. And the man shouted at me like, "Hey, can you come and stop that?" And I took it personally like, "Oh God, who are you to shout at me?"
Yeah.
And I bounced out. As in I changed this for the man and walked home. But luckily for me, I prayed. So when I wanted to pray, God just convicted me that guy. Who's talking to you? Nobody. Nobody can talk to me. And I said, okay, you know what? I'll go back and meet it. So when I meet him, I went to his house, I knocked on the door, I said, "Sir, I'm sorry for the way I reacted to you, but I'm telling you, shout at me."
Guy, do you know how
I told him shout
hard
at
this
me.
thing is?
Because at that point in time, nobody could shout at me because we're all moving mad. So I was like, okay, sir, shout at me.
Do you know how hard this thing is? For you to actually understand what your problem is, first of all, you are self-aware enough to know what your issue is, and then you go and look for help.
For help.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
You humble yourself.
If you grew up like, and you know the funny thing, like, and here's another thing. Shout outs to all the single moms out there, you know, grinding, whether you're a single mom by choice or by circumstance, whatever. But you need to understand something. If you have a boy, a male child, that child needs male guidance. And I need to give massive props to my mom. So she would always tell me and my younger brother, because there's 2 boys, 2 girls, I'm the first, right? She would always tell me and my younger brother, look, I can only raise you up the way a mother can. So that's why I don't even get what all this madness is about when Father's Day rolls around and women be trying to say, I'm a king. Happy Father's Day to me. Like, I get it. It could be cruise or anything. But truthfully, you cannot feel the shoes of a father or a male guide. And my mom will always tell us, go out of your way to try and look for people, good people, solid people who you can learn from. Because there's only so much I can give you. So as I said before, bro, I'm looking at you. Please, if you did not grow up with a father, or you even had a father and sometimes they're silent, because as I said in the last episode, sometimes we're so in our own world and in the way we,
as men,
that we go to the grave with our counsel, with our wisdom. And sometimes some of our fathers did not share it with us,
telling
right?
you.
If you're in that situation, bro, you need help. That's why there's like an exclamation mark. Producer, please. There must be an exclamation mark on that guy. Maybe like 5. So you know how serious it is. You
So,
really, really need help.
Let me ask this, and I ask because I kind of struggled with recognizing a mentor. Yeah, my dad was there, but I don't think I think growing up, I didn't. It's not like I felt like he was my mentor. I didn't
Yeah.
term him mentor.
Mentor. Okay.
Let me ask this: how do you find, first of all, can a guy have several mentors?
Oh,
Like,
yes.
do you have mentors for different things? And then how do you find them? How do you find those people?
All right. It's very simple for me. It's just like he said. The ways I've always found mentors is to. Do you remember that day in your office? I came to your office. It was a few months before my wedding. And I came to ask you about some questions relating to, look, you've been down this road before. How were you and your wife
Navigate.
able to cooperate to the point where, because bills are killing me, yo. I have so many things to pay for. I need to get a new house. I need to take care of my wife. I need to plan for the future. How did you guys manage this? And if you remember, that day you were probably even doing something,
Yeah.
but you stopped and you spoke to me and you gave me like a shit ton of advice that I could take back home and work with. And if you even ask her, my wife will tell you, we'll make reference to different conversations we had where I was like, oh, Ronti actually told me this thing, and I think if we do it like this, it will make sense.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Just be very direct. Know what you're saying. If it's the reason why we do not know how to directly ask for help is because we do not have an idea of the consequences that come with not asking for help.
I'm telling you. And let me bust your head again.
It's crazy.
The fact is that there are people that are willing to help. The fact is that you, as a mentee, you are helping that person that is your mentor too.
Yeah.
You know that it's not good to close match, close destiny. It also affects the mentor.
Sure.
Because you can't have knowledge and not spread it. It will choke you. So
Yo, what Bo is saying is actually very, very true. So what he's saying is actually very, very true. So it's like, have you guys ever been in a situation where you're trying to learn something, right? Let me do my hoodie thingy well. Yeah, I'm good. All right, so you're trying to learn something. Maybe you're learning like a new course or something, whatever, or you're learning a new skill, whatever it may be. And then you want to like master that thing. If you notice, maybe I don't know if it happens with you, but it happens to me a lot where the only time I'm able to properly grasp that thing that I'm trying to study or I'm trying to understand or learn is when I am able to explain it to someone else in a reasonable way, or when I'm trying to teach it to someone else so that they would understand it the way I do. Now, I feel it's kind of the same thing with mentors where they have an understanding of life, right? That's why you're going to meet them for something. And then one of the ways that they get better is by teaching you, the mentee, about how they got to where they got to. And that in turn makes them see things from a different perspective sometimes, especially if it's someone that's willing to learn. Case in point, what David said about Ronti is very true. They're like, I know I'm not the most open person. I'm not the most outspoken person, which is something that I've pinpointed as like one of my major flaws. And it's something I'm striving to change. That's one of the reasons why I started this channel, so that I can express myself more. I can talk more. And one of the reasons is because I realized that I was afraid of failure. And what does fear of failure entail? Fear of failure entails that I fail to communicate properly, people fail to understand me, and so it creates a feedback loop where I don't try. And when I don't try, right, eventually it piles up I don't try to communicate because I'm afraid that people won't understand me. And so when I do not communicate, people do not understand me, and then I lock up even more. So yeah, I've gotten to speak to Ronti on various occasions. The times where I do eventually open up, right? And like he gives incredible advice. And he gives it in such a way that he makes you understand. He makes you like he breaks it down in such a way that he talks to you in such a way that you guys are like brothers, or he talks to you in such a way that yo, remove my age, remove seniority. I've been through this. Yes, that's a factor of my age. But you're asking me for experience. And he's going to one thing that I love, especially working with Ronti, because he was the creative director and he became the I can't remember now. It slips my mind, but I'll remember eventually. Um, he became the executive creative director while I was working at the advertising agency TBWA. So one thing I loved about working with Ronti was that he was very big on improvement, and not just improving your skills, but improving yourself as a human being. I'm sure one of the reasons why this is flying is because Ronti is involved. That's another thing that I've noticed about him. Once he gets involved in something, that thing moves, like it moves forward. And you know, I had to again. It feels like I'm all over the place with my thoughts, and that's one thing about me. I'm trying to like learn how to communicate effectively. So, yeah, please don't mind me. So yeah, that's one thing that I've noticed. And back to um Bo's point is about being able to get a mentor that is able to share information and also learn. When you talk to people, when you ask for help, and someone takes it on to help you, in some sense, they are helping themselves. I know I've had like some conversations with people that after I spoke to them on something, they were like, "Oh, I didn't even think of it from that angle." And I've also had it in a case where someone asked me to help them with something or asked my advice or stuff like that, and I started seeing some things in a different light. So, yeah, I mean, it's yeah. So, yeah, let's get back to it. Let's get back to it.
There are
Facts.
people that are available to mentor. So it's just because in Nigeria, everybody's, I'm telling you, in Nigeria, everybody's like this already. Like, don't come near me, I'll elbow you. But if someone sees that, okay, this person is asking for genuine help, you see that there are people that are ready to help you.
Yeah.
Especially, and one thing is that there are so many things you can get help for. For me, generally, I got someone that I could discuss life on general terms with. And in like general terms, like purpose-driven life kind of vibe with that person. There's some people have mentorship for career. I have mentors for different things in life. So you'll be surprised how. And one thing I learned from my mentor is my first mentor. He doesn't choke me with his opinions. So there are people. So like I said, I first went to him. I went to meet him by myself.
Yeah.
Nobody, you understand? That's part of being a man.
Yeah.
He said, shout on me. Like, give me your opinion to your best.
Yeah.
And let me take it and let me know what to do with it. So I think it's something we need to shout for help.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be good to hear your guys' views on this. A mentor is, and I like when you said don't choke me with your opinions. I think a mentor is meant to be able to project and identify
To guide.
your skills, your strengths, and where you can potentially take it to, and then sort of guide you into going into that direction.
It's more of guidance.
He's more of a guide than a prison warden.
Than a controller.
Yeah, than a policeman or a law enforcement officer. Yeah. And mentorship, it's one thing. It was one thing for me to find people, because I'm looking for a very good way to make what I'm about to say gel. It's one thing for you to find a mentor.
Yeah.
It's another thing for you to offer up to mentor others. It forces you to grow.
I agree.
It does. It forces you to grow. So I've always, I was 30 last year, right? And I got a lot.
Were you seriously just going to enjoy the video and not like or leave a comment or subscribe? Really? Really?